Well, hello, everybody. It's Tracy again with you this week, and I'm very lucky. I've got another Molly. We had a Molly last week, and now we've got a Molly this week. So, two Mollys in 2 weeks. But this Molly has brought her beautiful partner Liam in, and it's wonderful to have partners on the podcast because their experience of birth is very different. And we know that when we prepare partners really well, they are game changers in the labour room. So, hi guys, thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks for having us.
All right, so Molly and Liam are only 7 weeks into their parenting journey with their little boy Tate. So, Molly, let's start with you. How were you feeling when you were pregnant with Tate, and what sort of prep did you end up doing?
When I was pregnant, I think you hear everyone's disaster stories. I don't want to tell you, I had this fantastic birth and it was so natural and beautiful. You don't hear those stories because it's like people are ashamed of those. So all
Yeah.
you hear is the negatives of birth, or the negatives of labor or midwife care or whatever it may be. So I think I was a little bit skeptical of what it was that I was actually going into.
Yeah.
And then I started to really like go, I need to do something different. Like I'm not scared of birth, but I need to change kind of my attitude to prep.
Mm.
Um, and so we enrolled in your course after hearing about it from so many people, and did the Transform Your Birth course. And I think that just really helped us pivot our mindset towards what it was we were doing, and knowing that my body wouldn't do more than I could handle. Like it was my body that was doing this thing. Like I can do this. And so yeah, I kind of had a bit of a that up and down mind frame towards birth at first.
Yeah. Can you identify, Molly, what were some of the levers of learning that really shifted your mindset? Like, what were the revelations? Can you remember?
Um, yeah, so one of the big ones that you kept talking about was the word, you hear birth and you hear pain. And it was when
Yeah.
you started to challenge that and go birth equals baby, labor equals baby. And you can really focus on the kind of the end goal. I think that really helped me channel that, yeah, it was a journey and I just had to let my body do that.
Mm.
And then learning about the stages of labor, I think too was another big one because, people often talk about that transition point and then the birth, like that
Mm.
lead up, learning about the different phases and what could help and what could, be beneficial, kind of gave me the tools in my kit to go, yeah, I've got this.
Mm. Yeah, that's powerful. And the whole mindset piece is so very important. And what Molly's described there is, we think when we think of the word childbirth, we instantly go to the word pain. It's not about the pain. The pain is a byproduct. It comes, it goes, you get a break. It's really about baby. And when we harness our mind and focus on what we want, not what we don't want, then we're utilizing one of the most powerful tools that we can use in birth. Liam, how did you experience the process of going through the course and how did that shift you and your role?
I think the course really helped me because prior to that, I put a lot of pressure sort of on myself because I didn't know what to expect.
Mm.
It was obviously first baby, going in blind. I just kept sort of catastrophizing.
Mm.
But then I think after your course, it helped me change my sort of thoughts towards it and gave me some useful tips, not only for myself, but for Molly as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm. You had a checklist, didn't you, Liam, of what
Yes.
to do and what not to do,
Yes. Yes.
how not to stuff it up.
Yeah.
Because I think that's, guys, they know they're walking into something that's important, mysterious, unknown, and not knowing how they can actually support is very fear creating in partners and men because all you want to do is protect her and to be there for her when she needs you most, but without the map, the understanding of the process as well as what you can do in a practical way, then it can leave dads feeling very overwhelmed and very sidelined. Can I ask you quickly, Liam, during the birth, do you think she responded well to your presence?
At times.
At times, not always.
No, no,
I bet she couldn't have done it without you.
No.
no.
Yeah.
Um, there were definitely a few times where, there were a few names or comments being made.
Oh, she got a bit feisty, did she?
A little bit, yeah. But
We often describe it as I became a bit feral.
A bit feral, love it.
bit.
If ever there was a time a woman can become feral, it's during birth. Go girl, I say. You've just got to you got to grin and bear it. Well, let's move forward. You had a bit of a long drawn out early labor. Do you want to talk about that, Molly? Just go into that.
Yeah, so Tate was born on the 26th of August, but I actually started going into early labor and having proper contractions, not just like Braxton Hicks,
Mm.
from the 1st of August.
So
So
that's like what? God, that's over 3 weeks.
yeah, it was a really long
Wow.
few weeks. In the first probably the first two in particular of that, it was almost daily that I was having proper contractions. Like they were stopping me in my tracks. I'd have to breathe through them.
Yeah.
There were proper movement happening, but just
Yeah.
no progress to that next stage of labor.
Mm.
So I think it was about maybe 10 days or so in, I think is when I about when I reached out to you and just went, I need to put this back into perspective. Like I'm
Yeah.
starting to lose the mental drive. Because every time it'd start, it'd be like, okay, we're going, like this is good. And then
Mm.
like I think I focused on it too much.
Yeah.
Going, are we going to keep moving? Are we going to stop? Is this going to stutter again? Do I send Liam to work today going, you'll be right, go on, off you go.
Mm.
Yeah, it became really mentally challenging. And then I kind of checked back in with you and um the that you asked me just a few different questions on keeping it in perspective and what the goal was and what I needed to do to get through it. And it was very much I needed to let go of control. Uh,
Yeah.
and once I had that check in with you, it made the days of when I'd have contractions a lot easier because I just focused on them for what they were and for the then and the now. And every one I could kind of put back into, regardless of if it's progress for birth in the next 24 hours, it's progress. So
Mm.
that became a lot better. Um,
It's
and
amazing how a little mind flip like that can shift how you experience something.
absolutely.
Now, let's dig into that a bit more because the idea of being in labor for 3 weeks, it's not it's not a very appealing thought, is it? But I
No.
do warn people it can be weeks. Now,
Yeah.
that isn't continual labor. That's, labor starting and stopping. Was there any pattern to the way that your labor emerged?
No, no.
No,
And that was the really
anytime,
hard
anywhere.
part. Sometimes I was more in the day. Other times it was, the middle of the night. There was a few times I
Mm,
woke up at like 2 a.m.
yeah,
and put myself in a shower or something just to change my what I was doing and use some of my tools and stuff. So there was no real pattern to it for me to go, oh, it's going to be tonight at 7 p.m. And I'm like, nothing. There was no rhythm. And sometimes there'd just be a few really, short back-to-back ones and then it would stop. Other times it would go all night. There was nights where it, started at 6 p.m. and I was still going at 6 a.m.
yeah.
So it was
Wow.
very bizarre in its pattern.
Did they give you any sense of what could have been causing that? Did your carers? Mm,
Um, from quite early, I think I was about 30, I think I was only just on 30 weeks, maybe even 28. Um, Tate had shifted and was quite engaged in my pelvis.
right.
And they think just as he was moving, it was putting that pressure on the cervix to try and do
Yeah.
its thing, but he didn't seem to want to come just yet. He was very much making it his terms.
Yeah.
Um, but there was really no just that, yeah, nothing. And even one of the obstetricians I saw, um, maybe the second week of that happening, he said, "Oh, it's all right. I won't see you here by the weekend. Like you'll have had the baby." When
Wow.
I finally came back, he goes, "I'm really sorry. I should never have said that."
That's the mystery, isn't it? We just
Yeah.
don't know what we're in for. Can you look at that now, Molly, and identify what that situation was inviting you to learn?
I think it really made me accept that I had to let the control go. I wasn't going to have control over a newborn. I wasn't going to have control over every aspect of labor or delivery or whatever. And I
Mm,
just had to trust my body. I had to trust my baby. I had to trust like Liam and
mm.
just let go. Because I think, in my
Yes.
personality as it is, I'm a bit of a I like my stuff how it goes. So to do that was quite challenging, but once I could accept it, it was a lot easier.
And do you think that's made new parenthood a lot easier? Because you sure as hell aren't in control of that either.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can't be
Yeah.
controlling whether he's going to wake up once, twice, three times a night. You've just got to let it roll. And I think it's just accepting the unpredictable.
Because I'm sensing, listening to you, that there's a real just roll with it, girl. And that's, if ever there's a message I give in this podcast time and time again, is the lessons we learn for birth are helping set us up for parenting. And that's a great story and demonstration of that. So, on the day that it actually happened, tell us how you actually, no, let's go to Liam. Liam, what was that like for you?
Uh, well, I think it was just after I walked in the front door, Molly
Are you meaning
said,
the like lead up or the
Well,
day?
yeah, the early labor, the long early labor, Liam, where it was starting and stopping. How did you go with your level of control?
uh, like, I wasn't too bad. I
Yeah.
think like, my biggest thing was every time it would start and then stop, it would be like a little bit of a letdown. You
Yeah.
get so excited and ready, yeah, pumped.
Yeah.
And like it just sort of didn't eventuate to anything, which was kind of hard. But
Mm.
like, I think it definitely helped me let go because like I'm just here to sort of help in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it did sort of it did help me, but it was hard at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's an important thing to acknowledge that like that's a long time to have start stop labors. And this is one of the mysterious things about, it's the pressure of the baby's head on the cervix, which releases the pulses of oxytocin. So he's obviously well engaged and starting those contractions, but then he might pull back, go back down, pull back. Yeah, these are the mysterious ways of labor and birth. So tell us then, Molly, how did the actual day that he was born unfold for you?
So the actual day of, I woke up and I had my mum here. She'd been staying with us just to give us a bit of extra help.
Hmm.
And I basically told her to leave me alone. I just didn't want, I just needed peace. I very much said I just need to protect my peace. People tried to call me, I declined them. People tried to message me, I didn't answer them. I had gone from someone that was like, it's fine, this is a village, that everyone's just excited to leave me alone.
Mm.
And I sat on the couch under a heated blanket. I didn't even put the TV on. I just kind of sat there. I read a book at one point and just did not much. And it was very different from how I'd been acting all month. And then Liam got home from work at about quarter to four. And 4 o'clock, I said to him, yep, like I'm starting to have some crampy feelings. Like something feels different. And he was like, okay, what do you need? And I was like, close the blinds, turn some music on, turn the diffuser on. Like, let's just stop, have some dinner. I bounced on the ball. It was very like cool, calm, collected. Even down to my contractions were about 3 minutes apart at about 1:30 in the morning. And Liam was like, yep, you're real calm. Like, I feel good. I feel great. Like, we can do this. I was in the bath and yeah, was feeling really good. Went and had a lay down in bed, was just like relaxing completely. Using my birth combs, breathing, your soundtracks were on, which was really great. And I was just, Liam was only being able to time my contractions by I'd do a breath in with my mouth and then I'd breathe through my nose. So he'd just wait for my breath in and press go. And then I'd tap him eventually when they'd stop. And he was like, it was very chill. And then my water broke. So I was lying in bed on my side with my like hips wide open, just like relaxing. And I felt this sudden like downward punch, and it was like a water balloon popped, and I skedaddled out of bed. Um, and from that moment, I was like, oh yeah, we're hot and heavy. We're coming in fast. They were coming real quick back to back. I'm standing in the bathroom at home going, Cratch, are we even going to get to the hospital? Are we okay? Told Liam I hated him and it was all his fault.
That sounds a bit like transition to me.
It was very quick and like yeah, from there they came in really quickly on top of each other. Um,
Mm.
and there was meconium in my waters, so I was like, we need to go. And I could tell that within myself. Like as soon as I started telling Liam I hated him, I went, yeah, it's probably time to go to hospital. And so we got to the hospital at about 10 past 4. On the way to the hospital, we got flashed by the police. Sorry, Liam. Liam's too busy focusing on me mid-contraction and trying to stay on the road. And yeah, we didn't get in trouble, luckily, but that was a good little additive to our story. Um,
Did you get off, Liam?
Yeah, it was only like a warning.
Yeah, they didn't
Oh,
pull
okay.
it over, thankfully.
Yeah.
I literally, because I'm mid-contraction at this point, and I see
Yeah.
the lights flash in the mirror, and I went, "Don't you dare start! Let them escort us for God's sakes!" I used a few explicit words in amongst that sentence, but I was like, "No, they can escort us!" Like,
Yeah. And
like
I've
you've
had
got
people with
nuts.
those sort of births. They're birthing in the car or, they're in that
Yeah.
phase and the police have actually escorted them.
Mm.
Yeah, I was like, if
Yeah.
they try to follow you, wave them up the side, tell them we're going, you're not stopping us. He was like, okay. And then we got to the hospital, and the midwife who we eventually had the next night, she said, I heard you over the speaker, and I just knew we weren't going to be slowing down, like this was coming in. And she had one birth suite that she said, all my births always happen really quickly in this birth suite. And I knew as soon as I heard you that you're going in that birth suite because you weren't going to slow down. And so, yeah, we went in, and they offered me a cervical check, but at that point I was like, do not touch me. I don't want you anywhere near me. Leave me alone. And because I had meconium in my waters, they wouldn't let me hop in a bath. So it was probably about that point that I I lost a bit of control again on
Yeah.
myself, and my brain was like, well, what do I do? That's what I've wanted. That's what I've planned for this whole
Yeah.
time. Um, and so it took me a little bit I to regather. Like I really
Mm.
struggled with that. And
Mm.
then came the it wasn't, I didn't even feel like it was a discussion. It was kind of a decision made that they needed to put monitoring on me.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was another thing I'd said to Liam, I don't want it. I don't want them to touch me. Like just let me be. Like I just let me be. But they got very I suppose persistent with it. The obstetrician was standing at the desk watching the monitoring, being like, it needs to be on. Why is it off? So they were literally holding the monitor and pushing it into me as I'd contract and trying to keep his heart rate. So
Mm.
those were two really big things for me that it really threw me. Like I didn't feel like I got that opportunity to stop and pivot my plan. Like I
Yeah.
felt like it just kept rolling, and
It's too
that was
rushed.
tough.
Mm.
Mm.
Um,
That
and
can
so,
happen, Molly. I'll just come in there because so meconium is it's just a cow of a thing to happen. Most of the time, babies don't poo until they're born, but every now and then they poo prior to birth, and sometimes a long time prior to birth. And so meconium is one of those things where it can be nothing or it can be actually very serious. And so your caregivers, through their medical duty of care, need to be monitoring to make sure that baby's actually okay. But in Molly's case, just the idea of having someone messing at your belly, you've gone from, I want to be in the bath, which is one of those very powerful tools, and then to have to navigate and not be able to do that, and then have somebody messing around on your belly, which is super, super sensitive with these contractions, it can pull women out of labor land. and very difficult to focus. Not only that, though, too, the waters had broken. And when waters break, the baby comes down much more solidly. And so contractions can really go up the Richter scale as a result of that. And it sounds like that's exactly what happened. What helped you during that time?
I think it was once I'd pretty much fully dilated. I said to them, I want the epidural. Screw this. I'm done. I want the epidural. Give it to me
Yeah.
now. And she was like, okay, I need to do a cervical check. And I was like, so you've got to touch me even more. And she's like, yes. Funny that. And I was like, okay. So we did a check and she told me that they were coming with it. She shook her head to Liam. I found out later and was like, no, no, we're coming around the mountain. Like it's not happening that way. And
But
so
she told you that it was on its way.
yeah, yeah.
Ah, interesting. She
So
lied.
I had put on my wishes, like if I was to have a cervical check, please don't tell me, just tell Liam, like because
Yeah,
I didn't want if I went in and I thought I'm in it and this is happening and I get told I'm at 2 centimeters or something. I
yeah,
didn't want that. I didn't need that knowledge. I needed to stay in that it's progress regardless of the
yeah.
number. So that was something I had said quite sternly to Liam that please
Mm,
don't let them tell me.
yeah,
And so like I think it was probably a blessing again at that point even that she didn't tell me because
right,
I don't think it didn't like deter me because I knew I was like, oh, it's coming, I just need to keep doing what I'm doing. um,
right.
and so that was probably a blessing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it was at that point that they started to lose because Tate was so low in my pelvis, they started to lose the tracing on the continual monitoring
Mm,
regardless of them holding it, pushing it, doing anything. And that's when they started getting like we need to either get them his heart rate or we need to put a scalp probe in.
mm,
And I said, no, 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 don't. I don't want a scalp probe on him. Like you're saying that meconium's going to give him an infection. I don't want to introduce anything else. So that was something, another thing we had already discussed, and Liam had to, not had to, but Liam was very much protected my space in that he went, nope, not her wishes, not our wishes at this point. If we need to reconsider it, we'll have a conversation when it's really, really urgent, but
yeah.
no. Um, and so where's I going with that? Yeah, we then basically from that cervical check, and she'd said that the epidural was coming. So I don't know, something in me just kind of switched at that point, and I put my head into Liam's chest and I went quiet. I breathed through all my contractions from them. I was able to like really internalize. I could pull every bit of energy down. Like it just, I don't know, something felt different. Um, like I kind of regained the I've got this, I can do this. Like this isn't something beyond me. And Liam was just whispering in my ear, like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful for you. Like he was just giving me all those really nice affirmations. And it's just, I don't know, it very much switched how I then went into that next stage.
Liam, can you tell us what that was like for you?
Uh, the whole birth or
Yeah,
just
just like the part where it got tricky, where she came in and they're wanting to do things and she doesn't want that. You have to be her advocate
yeah,
in communicating that. How was that for you?
it wasn't too bad. Like
Mhm.
we spoke about everything prior to, so I was all over what she wanted
Yeah.
for her birth. And like they with the scout monitor, they were sort of getting a little bit pushy with it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I also had a job to do, and that was just protect what Molly wanted.
Mm.
And if the other monitoring was doing the job, like it was working. So
Yeah.
it wasn't hard to do that,
Yeah.
to stand up for what she wanted.
Yeah. You didn't get any backlash?
No, no. You could tell that they weren't too happy with it, but at the same time they
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah.
So I think all in all they were okay with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just made it a little bit harder for them.
Yeah, it can be very difficult to do that, to push back.
Mhm.
And having the clarity, which is what you sharing there, and what you and Molly had decided prior to the birth, that becomes a really important, I guess your birth map becomes an important guide for partners to be able to know how to advocate by being really, really clear on if this, then that, if this, then that, and you know, communicating things like, please don't tell me how dilated I am. I just want to stay in labor land and things like that. They can seem very small, but they can have quite a profound impact on a
Mhm.
woman in labor. So I think it was great that she had you right on top of that. Yeah. So then things switched for you, Molly, and you went into a different zone. So this is called second stage of labor, and women do often feel a change. How was that?
Um, it was almost like, I don't know, it was like primal, like I was no longer this, fully functioning human being. I was just becoming a mum, and I knew I had one job. I knew what my body needed to do. My body kind of just took the lead, and it really, like, my brain let go. Um, and I didn't, yeah, I don't even know if I can put proper words to it. Like, it was just something that was intuition. And even down to, I was like quiet and just leaning into Liam's chest. And then
Mm.
midwife walked back in and goes to Liam, is she pushing? And Liam's like, uh, I don't know. Are you pushing? And I was like, yeah, like, yeah, my body's doing it. Like, I can't stop it. And they were like, oh, we need to check you. And I was like, I don't think you've got time.
Mm.
Like, I don't think you've got time to check me. Like, this is happening. Um, and yeah, even in that moment, like, it was just my body doing it. Like, I wasn't actively trying to push or anything. And they were like, can you just wait a second? Like, we just want to check. And I was like, I can't stop it. Like, I'm not doing this. My body's doing this. I'm not, like, you can't check. I'm sorry. And so yeah, it just very much became, yeah, instinctive, and my body just knew what it was doing. And I think it was easier to give in to that because I'd had this moment of regaining that mental control.
Yeah.
Um, and so, like, yeah, it was just easy to go, this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing this now. And yeah, it was great, to be honest. Like, I really actually, that component onwards, and then the birth, I actually weirdly enjoyed.
So tell us about the birth when he arrived. It's
So
like,
basically from that moment that she came in and goes, are you pushing? There was only half an hour. Like, he decided that he was coming, and that was that. And I remember them trying to talk me through the breathing of pushing, but my body was already pushing. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just need to do this. Like, I'm not sure. And so, um, yeah, I don't know, it was a really cool experience. Like, you can kind of just feel your body taking over and taking charge. And um, like, I wasn't trying to actively bear down or do anything. My body just knew what it was doing. And yeah, it's insane. You think you've got to learn every tool and technique, but
mm,
I didn't have a clue what I was going to be doing, and it just did
it
it.
just did it.
Yeah.
Molly's describing there what we call or know to be the fetal ejection reflex, which is the reflexive movement when the baby comes down and triggers that to bear down. And so we can, and what we see on TV is women being coached to push, 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 and all this stuff. If you're not getting the urge to push, you can be spending a long time doing something that isn't ready to happen. And I often say to my mothers in that situation, if you're not feeling the urge to push, say to your caregivers, I'm not getting the urge. Should we change position? Should we try something else? Because typically, and I mean, there always are exceptions to the rule, the body knows what to do. And Molly not actually feeling the need to like push with it and to just let her body do it can also protect the perineum. Is that how did your peri go?
I did end up with a tear,
Hmm.
but my beautiful little boy doesn't have the most delicate of builds.
He was a buffer, was he?
So, like yeah, I did a few things whilst we were like, I could feel that my next push, he was about to come through, and I said to them, can you put, like some cloths on my perineum and just do a few things? And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, just like try and
Manage the
help it.
perineum.
Like, can you help
Yeah.
me at least protect it? Like, warm it up, do something. Like, let's just, I don't know, do something. And they were like, okay. So all of a sudden, all these wet cloths are being like checked across the birth suite. But yeah, we did tear, but I think compared to what it might have been and what it could have been, just
Mm.
letting my body do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, as you're birthing, you don't necessarily feel it anyway. Like
No, you don't. That's often the surprise. There's so
yeah,
many big sensations going on. You often don't even know
no,
if you've torn or not.
yeah,
And it can be a bit of a mind thing for women. It's like the idea of it does your head in, but the reality is often not as bad as what we think.
no. And
Yeah.
even finding out you've got a tear, like you're holding your baby, you just go, just fix it or do
Yeah.
what
Just
you
you
gotta
you do
do.
what you got to do.
You do
I've
you
got better
down
things to do.
there. I'm
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah, and I often say to women, I don't even know that it's useful to know whether you've had a first, second, or third degree tear. It's like it's all the same thing. You just bring those tissues together, bit of suturing, and it'll heal. It's not actually that important, but it can give women ideas about their sacred cave, about it being demolished, and
No.
oh, I had a this degree tear, and I don't think that's useful at all. My midwife never told me what degree tear I had with my first son. It was the only time I did tear. And I never, to this day, I have no idea. But she drew a picture and she showed me what she'd done to do the repair work. So that was all I needed to know. Yeah. So tell us, Liam, what that was like when you met little Tate for the first time. I want to hear your sort of version of second stage and how that was for you.
Uh, it was kind of cool to watch, really.
Were you
'Cause
down the business end?
I was,
Yep.
yes. Yeah, I saw everything. But like I wouldn't change it really.
Mm,
Because the lead up to it with like how Molly was, there was a massive shift. Um, and like from there, it just, yeah, it was surreal, really. Uh,
mm.
yeah, watching Tate come out. Yeah, no, it was really cool. And
Yep.
then getting to hold him was, yeah, yeah,
You get that? Do you need
yeah.
tissue?
No, I'm okay.
Did you
Yeah,
get a rush of love, Liam, or what can you describe that feeling of meeting or even when you held him for the first time? Because I like to demystify bonding a little bit. People can go in with expectations that they're going to feel a certain way, and it's very varied
yeah.
between people. What was it like?
It's almost like hard to describe.
Mm.
Holding him, my first thought was he's small. Oh, but at the same time, he wasn't. Um, but when I did hold him, I don't know, all the anxiety that I had in the lead up just sort of got washed away.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a cool feeling.
Wow. Yeah. And what about for you, Molly?
Um, I think one of my first thoughts was I'm really tired now, if I'm honest. But like just this insane, overwhelming feeling of like love for them, love for yourself too. Like
Mm.
I was really surprised at how much I got. Even, this is pre-placenta out, I'm still attached, to his cord, still attached, everything. You just have this like overwhelming sense of love for yourself that you have done it and that you have been able to get through it. And like it's a pride and stuff for him, that he's gone through birth and how much of a process it is for them to come out to.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a weird one. Like, everyone talks about that love, but I think I was shocked by how much pride I had in like our family unit and Liam and Tate and me. And like, it was, yeah, there's a lot of emotion that swirls all of a sudden.
Mm.
But the I'm tired comment, like it just, it literally was like, oh my God, I've done it. I'm tired.
Well, you certainly had a marathon effort with managing every sensation as one step closer to meeting that baby. You took a lot of steps, darling, to get him here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think having had that prolonged time too, it was like just this, he's here, like we've done it. This is amazing. Like now we get to enter this stage as a trio.
Yeah. I do get a sense your long early labor was a bit like a university course into parenting. It it
Yeah.
it served you well, and I love that you can see that surrender process that perhaps you needed can serve you on the other side, because
Yeah,
this is a
absolutely.
transformational process. Our babies are getting us ready to be parents as much as we're getting ready to be their parents. And the lessons that can come with birth can serve us very, very well in the parenting. So, what did you learn about yourself, Molly? And then I'll ask Liam the same question.
You can think about it. I yeah, I definitely think from basically your course onwards, I learned that I very much had to give up control. I couldn't control every factor. I couldn't control, you know, what would or wouldn't happen. I couldn't control any of it. And I had to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And like you hear for so much about, you're going to have this birth and your body's going to do what it needs to do. And like you kind of know you need to give up control, but actually surrendering to do it, it's
Mm,
hard. When you're someone that likes that little bit of knowing what comes next and all that
mm.
stuff. Um, that was really mentally challenging. And I remember talking to you and I was crying on the other end of my Zoom call going, it's just taking so long and I'm so tired and I just want him here. Well, them at that point, I didn't know who it was. Yeah, that like actually surrendering to the process and letting it happen. Yeah, it's definitely helped me with this side of it because I'm now going, well, I had no control leading up to it. I've got no control now. It's cool.
I'm on board with that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about you, Liam? What did you learn about yourself, you big legend, you big rock star?
Uh, Pretty similar to Molly. Just the long early labor.
Mm,
It did teach me that I did have to let go of it has to go this way or like it will go this way. Like just to take things a little bit easier. Uh,
yeah, as they come.
yeah. And
Mm,
time comes like I had a lot of, I guess, a lot of anxiety in the lead up to it.
hmm
Um, just like with how I'd be during birth. Um, but I sort of realized when we got to the hospital that no, I got this. I
And you
can
did.
need to do.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm,
They very much protected our space. We were very lucky that we had him to advocate for the things that we as a couple, but then me as an individual had
mm.
as my wishes and our wishes. So we were very lucky.
Very powerful. And any advice for a pregnant family listening to this?
Um, I think one thing, if I could do it again, I would have had a little bit more acceptance that if I couldn't get in the bath, what would come next for me and what my wishes
Okay.
were.
Yep.
Because for so much of my journey, that had been something I had fixated on probably a little bit too, well, not a little bit, quite a lot.
Mm,
Um, and it was too much. And then once that got thrown out the door, I it took me quite a while to get myself back together and pivot my plan. And so I think that would probably be something that for next time, definitely will be coming up with alternate options. if this can't happen, this is what I'd prefer, or, and obviously it can't always go exactly to plan. Like that's birth, that's babies, they're going to throw you. But I think doing it again, having a little bit more of a multi-pathway plan, that kind of component.
Yeah, very wise words.
Mm.
Liam, what advice would you give?
Take it as it comes.
Take it as it comes. So true. This step right here, right now. Don't let your mind go too far forward. Don't dwell on what has been. Right here, right now.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, a very powerful story for us to learn from this week, in that you just don't know where the birth is going to take you. And I think Molly and Liam's story is the epitome of letting go, of just working with all the different pivoting, the changes, the alternate paths that we might be asked to travel, but also remembering that we do have resources regardless of what happens. And even though Molly had to forego the bath, she was able to go back in and find that place of peace in Liam's chest. Who'd have thought you'd find it in Liam's chest? But you did.
Not me.
It's obviously a very special chest. But you did. You learned how to, you did adjust and you did get back into the zone. And, this is what this experience invites us to learn. And Molly can see very clearly how that early marathon, early labor that she went through has served her really, really well in parenting. And I think if we can just trust that every journey, every birth story, every experience, regardless of whether we need help or not, whether it gets complex or not, is setting us up for that other side, and to really recognize and invite the experience to teach you what you need to learn in order to be ready to parent the child that you're bringing into the world, or children. So we've been very fortunate to have you both share that story and share some more birth wisdom with our listeners. And what you learn in pregnancy, what you learn in birth is setting you up for that next phase. So thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll be with you again. Take care. Bye.